Across the vast and diverse continent of Africa, a silent war has been waged for decades. It's not just a struggle for resources or territory, but a battle for the very soul of nations. In this relentless pursuit of influence, Western powers have often resorted to drastic measures to maintain their grip. History is stained with the tales of African leaders who dared to defy and paid the ultimate price. Patrice Lumumba of Congo, Thomas Sankara of Burkina Faso, and more recently, Muammar Gaddafi of Libya, visionaries whose flames were extinguished too soon. But from these ashes rises a new generation of revolutionaries. Bold and unyielding, these leaders carry the torch of autonomy and self-determination. Yet, as they stand firm, they face an age-old adversary, one that may already be plotting their downfall. In this video, we're going to talk about some African leaders that have been doing the most to break their nations free from Western bondage. The first on this list is no other person than 1. Ibrahim Traore. In the heart of Africa, a new chapter unfolds with Ibrahim Traore, a young leader reshaping Burkina Faso's destiny. At just 34, Traore, the youngest president in the world, took the helm on September 30, 2022, challenging the status quo. Traore's leadership marks a stark departure from pleasing Western powers. In a bold move, he expelled French forces, signaling a shift towards independent decision-making. His vision is to forge win-win partnerships and diversify Burkina Faso's international alliances. This vision extends beyond borders. Traore advocates for a federation with Mali and Guinea, potentially creating a vast military-led union. His pro-Russia stance, revealed at the 2023 Russia-Africa Summit, further underscores his departure from traditional allies, reopening the Russian embassy, closed since 1992. According to Traore, African leaders have to cease behaving like puppets that dance whenever the imperialists tug on their strings. Traore's philosophy is clear. African states must break free from external influences, leveraging their rich resources to build a self-reliant continent. His journey, however, is fraught with challenges, evident in the numerous coup attempts against him. This raises a critical question. Are these threats internal, or do they stem from displeased Western powers? Let us know what you think in the comments. 2. William Ruto. William Ruto, at 56 years old, embodies another facet of Africa's emerging revolutionary leadership. As Kenya's fifth president since September 13, 2022, Ruto is charting a new course for African diplomacy. Like Ibrahim Traore, Ruto is challenging the traditional dynamics between Africa and the West. His stance became evident at the Russia-Africa Summit. Critiquing the West's approach to Africa, Ruto proposed a shift. Rather than summoning all 54 African leaders, which he views as demeaning, Africa should be represented by special envoys. This method, he argues, would foster meaningful discussions, moving beyond mere photo opportunities and respecting the autonomy and dignity of African nations. Ruto's call for a more equitable global platform echoes Traore's push for self-reliance and independence. Both leaders share a vision of an Africa that engages with the world on its own terms, seeking partnerships rather than paternalism. Ruto's forthright approach in international forums highlights a growing sentiment among African leaders, the need for constructive dialogue and a redefinition of Africa's role on the world stage. 3. Yoweri Museveni. Yoweri Museveni is another leader threatening Western grip on the African continent. Serving as Uganda's president since 1986, Museveni's leadership approach and policies set him apart in both style and substance. In May 2023, Museveni signed into law a bill criminalizing same-sex conduct, a move that garnered both domestic support and international criticism. This law drew attention from various rights organizations and Western governments, highlighting a deep divide between Uganda's domestic policies and international human rights standards. Similar to Traore and Ruto, Museveni has shown a willingness to defy Western influence, as seen when the World Bank froze funding due to Uganda's anti-LGBT law. Museveni's response was assertive. He emphasized Uganda's intention to reduce borrowing and not succumb to foreign pressure, asserting the country's cultural principles and sovereignty. This stance aligns with a broader narrative seen in African leadership, where there's a growing emphasis on self-reliance and challenging external influences. Museveni's strategy also points towards looking beyond traditional aid and leveraging other resources, like oil production expected to start by 2025, as alternatives to Western support. His approach, while controversial, underscores a shared sentiment among these African leaders: a desire for autonomy and a redefined relationship with the global community. 4. Nana Akufo-Addo. Nana Akufo-Addo is an influential figure in the wave of African leaders reshaping the continent's future. As Ghana's president since 2017, Akuffo-Addo, like Yoweri Museveni of Uganda, has taken a firm stand on cultural and social issues, particularly regarding LGBTQ rights. Akuffo-Addo's unwavering stance against the legalization of LGBTQ rights in Ghana mirrors Museveni's approach. He emphasizes the protection of Ghanaian culture and values, resisting what he perceives as Western pressure to conform to a set of norms that are not in line with his country's priorities. His commitment to maintaining African identity and cultural integrity is a central theme in his presidency. This approach highlights a broader trend among some African leaders, including Ibrahim Traore and William Ruto, where there is a clear emphasis on sovereignty, cultural preservation, and resistance to external influence. While Traore and Ruto focus more on political and economic autonomy, Akuffo-Addo and Museveni demonstrate how this autonomy also extends to social and cultural domains. Akuffo-Addo's governance thus reflects a nuanced aspect of the new African leadership, one that seeks to define its path not just in economic and political terms, but also in preserving and asserting cultural values and identities in the face of global pressures. 5. Paul Kagame. At the age of 66, Paul Kagame emerges as a key figure in the current generation of African leaders, characterized by a pronounced autonomy and a stance resistant to Western influence. His leadership style and viewpoints bear similarities to those of leaders like Ibrahim Traore and Nana Akufo-Addo. Kagame, known for his assertive and direct approach, has been at the helm of Rwanda since 2000. His decision to run for a fourth term and the earlier lifting of term limits sparked criticism from the West. Kagame's response to this criticism has been characteristically forthright, indicating that Western opinions are not his primary concern. In his 2009 inaugural speech, Kagame articulated a vision that resonates with many African leaders. He emphasized that Africa's biggest challenges are poverty and the dependency arising from underdevelopment, rather than a lack of democracy. This perspective challenges the conventional narrative often promoted by Western entities and aligns with the broader theme of self-determination and resisting external dictation. Kagame's frustration with the international community's use of foreign aid as political leverage is a sentiment shared by leaders like Akuffo-Addo and Museveni, who prioritize national sovereignty and cultural identity. These leaders collectively represent a shift in African leadership, one that seeks to redefine relationships with global powers and assert African perspectives in international discourse. Kagame's stance, particularly his critique of Western attitudes and his focus on internal development over external validation, highlights a growing trend among African leaders who are redefining what leadership means in an African context, emphasizing autonomy, dignity, and self-reliance. As we've seen, Africa is at a turning point with leaders like Ibrahim Traore, Ruto, Museveni, Akuffo-Addo, and Kagame shaping a new future. They stand united in their quest for autonomy, challenging external influences. But for decades, the West has always taken down African revolution leaders. Will these new leaders redefine Africa's role on the global stage, or will external forces push back? Let us know what you think in the comment section. Remember to like this video and subscribe to the New Tourist channel. Also turn on notifications to stay updated with our latest videos. Thanks for watching and see you in our next video.